from Indianapolis, Indiana. This is the Double Take Sports Talk Show with the Watch Brothers. And here they are, ladies and gentlemen, your hosts, Darrell and Darren Watts. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is it. Double Take Sports Talk with the Watch Brothers. Welcome to our podcast with me, Darren Watts. Say hello to Darrell Watts II. D-Dub, what's going on?
Yo, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to our podcast. Darren Watts. What's new, man?
Not much.
Not much.
You know the deal. New day, new start.
Yeah, I already know.
All right. So today on the podcast show, we got the Quiz-mania question of the day, and then we have Double Take Sports Court. Talk about a different variety of things. We got Steve Kerr on the list today. We got Draymond Green, the NBA Finals, Julian Edelman, Rodney Hood. Just some pretty interesting things that went on throughout the playoffs and with the NFL side of Julian Edelman and what's going on with him. We'll have all that in Double Take Sports Court, and then we'll have our Quiz-mania answer from the Quiz-mania question of the day, and then we'll have the final thoughts. Shout-outs to a couple people. Darrell, you ready to do this?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Do it. Before we start Quiz-mania question of the day, just wanted to throw this out here. You are going to be watching while this podcast is going on gameplay of NBA 2K18, the 86-87 Los Angeles Lakers versus the 95-96 Chicago Bulls. Darrell will be playing as the 86-87 Los Angeles Lakers, and Darren, me, will be playing 95-96 Chicago Bulls. This would be the first half of Game 1 at the United Center in Chicago of our, what we would call our bragging rights.
7-game series.
7-game series, right. So hopefully you enjoy that. This is the entire first half of Game 1. We'll have Game 2 on our next podcast and so on and so forth. So hopefully you enjoy this podcast as we go through the various events that went on also this past week. All right. Now on to Quiz-mania question of the day. Darrell, when you are good and ready, floor is yours, Bill.
All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Quiz-mania for June 9th, 2018. Darren, you might want to get your thinking cap ready for this because I got something for you. It may be easy. You may not have to use it, so you'll probably have to do just a little bit of research.
Yeah.
So, ready for it?
Yep, let's have it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here's the Quiz-mania question of the day. Top 10 NFL quarterbacks to throw 15 touchdowns in the playoffs all time.
Top 10
NFL quarterbacks.
NFL quarterbacks
to throw 15 touchdowns in the playoffs. And that's all time.
Interesting.
That includes active, Hall of Famers,
and retired.
Retired. Mm-hmm.
In the playoffs, and that's all time.
Yep, just in the playoffs all time.
So I need to name all 10?
Yep. If you get all 10, that'd be a bonus.
Sure. Okay.
So think about that, harbor on it. Don't kill yourself doing it.
You know I won't.
I know this. So that is your Quiz-mania question of the day from this point. We'll have the answer to this later on in the podcast.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, now it is time for DTST, Double Take Sports Court. Darren, whenever you are good and ready, the floor is yours.
All right. Let's start out by talking about the NBA Finals. It was kind of a bit of an unexpected return for me.
Uh,
Hey,
yeah.
me nor you did not expect the Golden
No.
State Warriors to sweep the Cleveland Cavaliers. We had
Mm-mm.
said that Cleveland were going to steal one on the road. You said game four, and I said no. I said game four. You said game three,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
and neither one of that happened. Neither one of that happened.
Nope.
Let's dig into the NBA Finals. So there was some dramatic things that happened throughout that series. Let's start with Game One with LeBron James, 51 points, and still lost that game in overtime because of who they blame, J.R. Smith. My personal opinion about it, I don't blame J.R. Smith.
I don't either.
I blame George Hill.
I do too.
I blame George Hill. I don't blame J.R.
Yes, I
Smith.
do. If you would have missed those free throws.
Yeah, he wouldn't have missed it. This wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, exactly.
But because he missed it, it happened.
It happened.
I don't blame George Hill. I don't blame J.R. Smith. I blame George Hill.
And then I'm gonna tell you.
We'll get back to that in just 1 second. Let me finish off the rest of these three games.
Okay.
In game two, you have Stephen Curry had the NBA record of 9 3-pointers. He went 9 for 17 in game two with, I believe, 33 points. And then game three, Kevin Durant went off for 23 points. And then Rodney Hood also came off the bench with a 7 for 11 performance with, I think, 15 points coming off the bench. And then game four, Golden State just flat out blew Cleveland out in fashion style to win the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
With that being said, let's run back through the series alone. Darrell, what was your take on game one with the whole J.R. Smith ordeal and what was going on with that? What's your thoughts about that?
Well, for one thing, and I definitely agree with you when you said that you don't blame J.R. Smith for it, but at the same time, you blame George Hill. 100% agree with that. And there's also something else that I'm going to add to that. In overtime, you do not allow. This is how I pertain to any East team that could shut down LeBron James. Period. And that was Stephen Curry. When he guarded him, he didn't score anything in overtime at all. Okay. This is the type of pressure that you have to put on not only LeBron James, but the Cleveland Cavaliers themselves because of the fact of how they can play versus any East team. But this is a West team, and this is the NBA Finals. This is a whole nother perception on how Cleveland and Golden State is going to play.
Yep.
So with him not scoring anything, that really just turned the whole series around.
Yep.
That turned the whole series around.
Absolutely. That being said, let's move over to game two with Stephen Curry with 33 points. NBA record of 9 3-pointers in the playoffs. Let's just be real here. Stephen Curry exploited the Cleveland Cavaliers defense.
Absolutely.
There was even sometimes where he just felt so good about his shot, he didn't even need to feel the need to feel pressured with somebody coming to him to make his shots. He used picks to help create his shots. Cleveland was very lazy off getting off those pick and rolls to be able to try to get that defensive shutdown on Stephen Curry. And you just can't do that to a three-point shooter, especially when you had somebody like former NBA player Reggie Miller on the floor. You just couldn't do that.
Couldn't do that.
You cannot do that. You just have to hope and pray that he would throw up a brick 90% of the time. John Stockton, Jack Warnershek. There's a lot of other good three-point players out there that you could not depend on them to actually go off of pick and rolls or picks to be able to get their open shots. Michael Jordan. You see, Michael Jordan was more of a shot creator. He didn't have to use pick and rolls 90% of the time to be able to get his shots off. He was a shot creator, just like Stephen Curry.
Yeah, and with Jordan,
But
he
he
could
used
use it.
everything. Yeah, he used everything.
Right, right. And with Jordan, Michael Jordan could use the low post to create space. So
Fadeaway
that,
shots, all that.
yep, he could use the low post to actually create space
Yeah,
and use that fadeaway jumper to his
absolutely.
advantage.
Oh yes, oh yes. What was your thoughts? What's your thoughts on Steve Curry, on Stephen Curry? What's your thoughts on him about him being able to play the way he plays? First off, is that your type of point guard? Because I think of you. I'm not gonna say I think of you as a Mark Jackson. You're more of a traditional point guard when you're out there on the floor. You're looking to exploit the defense, but you're not looking for that type of exploitness to shoot the ball, but far more pass the ball. So Stephen
Right.
Curry used his in a different way to be able to shoot and exploit the defense. What's your thoughts on that? What's going through your mind? Do you like play style? What is it about this that really gets to you, or what you like about it?
Here's the thing with Stephen Curry. I 100% admire what Stephen Curry does. As a point guard, I admire it to the fullest. Now, although, bless you. You're alive? You still alive?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm sorry.
So, no, you're good. You're good. So, I admire what he does 100%. I am totally in it. I enjoy watching him play. I do. I enjoy everything that he's doing. He's setting up, and he's doing everything that he has to do to win these games. Although that is not something I would do. I am not the type of point guard that would take an attempt 17 3-pointers. That's not me. I wouldn't.
No, it is not.
No, I don't attempt 17 3-point shots, and I don't even knock down 9 3-pointers. But
and if you don't believe it, take a look at this gameplay that we're playing right now. Take a look at that.
Yeah,
that's a
you will see. You would see. Yes, you will see me use Magic Johnson to my advantage. Now, although when I had an opportunity to get a three, that's exactly what I did.
And it kills me every time.
Yes, and I was able to actually use the paint to my advantage. So when that happens, that's when things start to open up. Perimeter starts to open. The seam opens. Everything opens. And that's how it works with Stephen Curry. Stephen Curry is that player. He creates space. He's a shot creator. He will attack the basket. But the only thing that I have not seen Steph Curry do a lot of since Mark Jackson left, since he got fired, is the post-up game.
You want to know why?
After Mark Jackson,
You want to know why?
Because Steve Kerr is not a low-post scorer. He's not a low-post scorer. He's a three-point shot.
Yes, he is. He's a shooter, straight up.
So that tells me right there between going from one guard as a coach to another guard as a coach, that shows you that any type of play system can work for you if you execute it right. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. No, you're good. Go ahead.
Who's your preferable more of a play style point guard? Would it be Mark Jackson or would it be Magic Johnson?
Well, they both got similarities. The only difference is Magic Johnson's taller. But if it was me, who I would prefer, Magic Johnson.
I agree.
Magic Johnson.
If that man is slick passing the ball.
Yeah, he's slick. Now, Mark Jackson is too.
He's like
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mark Jackson, he can do it too.
Yeah, Mark Jackson
but not better than Magic Johnson, though.
That's why, to me, Mark Jackson is one of the most underrated point guards.
He is. He is there. Yeah, he is.
The lowest ranked, I believe. to me, he's actually better than what most people look at him to see. He's actually a lot better.
He's in the top 5 for dish not assists.
Yeah,
Both of them.
because
Both of them.
passed him. Somebody just passed him because he was third.
Yeah, somebody just passed him. I don't remember who it was.
It wasn't Stephen Curry. It was somebody else that passed him. I got to look at that.
I'm going to look it up right now because I'm going to tell you, I know for a fact that, he had actually. Excuse me.
Because I know he was third because it was Magic Johnson as number 1 in all-time assists.
Johnson.
Because I want to say it was Magic Johnson number 1.
Here's where we go. John Stockton.
Nash. Jason.
Yeah, Steve Nash. Jason Kidd, then Steve Nash, Mike Jackson, and Magic Johnson. 5 players are the only. Those are the only 5 players. John Stockton.
Number 1.
Jason Kidd.
Number 2.
Steve Nash.
Number 3.
Mark Jackson.
Number 4.
Magic Johnson.
Number 5. Yep. That sounds about right, too. Absolutely.
It is. That's what it is.
It was Jason Kidd that passed up Steve Nash, Magic Johnson, and
Mark Jackson.
Mark Jackson. Yep.
And these are the only 5 players that have 10,000 assists. The only 5 players there. 10,000 assists.
Crazy.
Steph Curry's on his way, but he still have a long way to go if he wants to get up to 10,000.
Absolutely.
But he's more of a scorer, and that's what kind of takes away his ability to actually.
See, exactly. He's more looking towards the shooting records of Reggie Ray Allen and all the other great shooters, Michael Jordan and all of them. That being said, let's head over to games 3 and 4 and talk about them real quickly. Kevin Durant in game 3 with 43 points, and then game 4 just blowout fashion. What's your take for Golden State to be the exact warriors that they are on the road to take both of those games 3 and 4? Because Cleveland led game 3. I watched the first quarter of that game. Matter of fact, the first quarter and half of the second quarter. I watched that game. Golden State looked very sluggish. They didn't look like they wanted to come out there and play at all. But then when I woke up the next morning to see that Golden State won game 3, I'm like, I wonder what happened. Kevin Durant blew up 43 points. What's your thoughts on games 3 and 4 for them to take those 2 on the road like that? Because that's very hard. I don't care what anybody say. I don't care what anybody say about easy teams or anything like that. It is very hard to go into go on the road in the playoffs to take those 2 games to sweep them. Houston did that with Orlando. Let's be real here. They took the first 2 games in their championship wins to sweep them, just like Golden State did, except they was home the first 2 games and they took the last 2 games. What's your thoughts about this?
You said it. Scoring power. You got Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson.
They all struggled.
That's correct. Hang on, I'm not finished. You have those players that has the ability to score. Not everybody in Cleveland can shut down everybody. It doesn't work. If Steph Curry, Klay Thompson has a bad game, Kevin Durant is there to back him up. If Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson is having a bad game, guess who's stepping up? Steph Curry. And if Steph Curry and Kevin Durant are not having good games, guess who's stepping up? Klay Thompson. You can't have it wrong. Your ability to score on the road, that is a significant piece of dynasty winning on the road. It's dynasty.
The thing is that when you think about it, when Golden State just started building up under Mark Jackson, only Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson was the 2 guys on the team that could shoot. They were the only 2, and still did good. They still did phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Right.
They did fantastic. Matter of fact, they were one of the best in the NBA at that time, being able to be the best backcourt in the NBA at that time before Kevin Durant came into the picture.
But you also got to give credit to Klay Thompson, too, because Klay Thompson actually accepted Steph Curry for who he is.
A shooter.
A shooter.
Mm-hmm.
He respected that, and he accepted that. Monte Ellis, on the other hand, decided to think differently. That's why they fell apart. Yes.
Well, that and believe it or not, Mark Jackson.
And Mark
Jackson. He was another one. He was another.
Yep.
Mark Jackson was more of that traditional Larry Bird style type of play. Big man in the middle, your two forwards and your two guards. That's what Mark Jackson was trying to establish with Golden State then. But Mark Jackson was not acceptable to the fact that he wasn't going to have that traditional defense or offense. That offensive man to dominate the paint. JaVale McGee, let me tell you something. He ain't no paint protector.
No, he ain't.
He has to do what he has to do. He will do it.
He will do it. Agreed.
You know, so Steve Kerr came in there and accepted everybody's roles and just plugged them in the way they needed to be plugged in. That's why Golden State is winning so much. When you have somebody like, you take a look at Game 3. If you looked at Game 3, and when I looked at Game 3, Cleveland, there's a lot of players that are not accepted there either when you think about it. Kevin Love.
Of course.
Take a look at Kevin Love. Kevin Love, before he went to Cleveland, when he was with Minnesota, you see him posting up all kind of double-doubles. That man owned the paint. That's what I loved about Kevin Love. Owned the paint. 41 points in the paint, 21 rebounds. He owned the paint. He owned it. That was his home. That was his second home from home. If anything, that was probably his first home from home.
He treated that like volleyball.
Man, Darrell, Game 3, that man went out there and dominated the paint. I love that type of play from Kevin Love.
That's what you need from Kevin Love.
And you need that from Kevin Love. That's why they led in that game, was because he dominated the paint. What happened? They shot away from it. Kevin Love started going back to the three-point line. What happened? He starts missing. You can't do that.
You can't do that.
Hey, bro, don't fix it. You don't belong on the three-point line. You can shoot them, but you can't be a consistent one like Stephen Curry. You have to get your dominance in the paint. You have LeBron James and everybody else have to accept Kevin Love as a paint player. He is a paint player. LeBron James, that's like throwing LeBron James out of the point forward role. You just can't do that. You can't do that. And even with him being in the point forward position, they still lose games.
To me, he's just not a point forward. I'm just being perfectly honest about it. And when you have a point forward like LeBron James, you don't think of anybody that can actually be that type of progression of a point forward.
Yeah.
That's why I personally think that LeBron, he's not no point forward.
No, he's probably not. But I think he's good enough to pass the ball. That I will say.
He's good enough to pass the ball. Yes, he is. He's good enough to pass the ball. But I don't declare him as
a real point forward.
A real point forward because of the fact that, yeah, he can get the playmaking abilities going down. He can shoot the shots when he can. He can do all of that. He has proven time and time again that he has triple doubles. But at the same time, the real question would be, how do you handle yourself as a point forward in pressure situations? You just got swept out of the NBA Finals.
You really did after you pretty much swept Toronto.
Exactly. After you done swept Toronto, you done went and got swept in the NBA Finals.
Who would you declare as a real point forward?
So far, the best one I've seen in this generation, Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Would you consider Larry Bird? Would you consider Larry Bird as one?
Absolutely. Absolutely. He's not the one that will actually push the pressure. What he sees and what the defense gives him. That's why he was so good.
Yeah.
That's why he was so good. He ran pick and roll all the time. He knew how to set up pick and roll. He knew how to pick the defense apart when it came down to pick and roll.
And he
He
knew
knew
how
how
to
to do
create
it.
shots too.
Yeah, he knew how to do all that stuff.
All right. So now the NBA Finals are done. We know who the winners are. With that being said, a couple things with this NBA Finals. Steve Kerr looking for a contract extension. Do you think that's going to extension? Do you think that's going to happen?
I don't see why not. It looks like it's going to happen.
I don't either. I agree.
If the Pelicans gave Alvin Gentry a contract extension, they're going to get Steve Kerr.
I agree. Draymond Green is your Hall of Famer.
No,
Is it too soon to say?
not yet.
I agree, but I think he has potential to be one. But I think it's
Absolutely.
going to take time for him to get to that level.
Exactly.
To mature.
You got what, two rings under your belt now? I just think now that
it's not 3. He didn't play for Golden State in 2014-2015 season.
Yes, he did. So it is 3.
I think he does have 3.
Wow. Yeah. He has potential. He has potential to be a Hall of Famer, but he's just not there yet. He's not there yet.
He's only 28, so he's still got a lot of time.
Yeah, he got a lot of time. I would declare it if he actually stepped out of his boundaries.
Yeah. He has, of course, like I said, he's 28. Yeah, I think he has some All-Star appearances. I'm not sure about that. Yep, 3 All-Star games. That just puts him on the other end of being All-Star material, Hall of Fame material.
Absolutely. Championship rings declared that 1, 2.
See, he kind of makes me think of Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, he don't have to score to produce.
Exactly.
He don't have to score to produce like how Dennis Rodman. He didn't have to produce either. He was just fine with no points and 28 rebounds.
See, if anything that would get Draymond Green into the Hall of Fame besides championship wins is his defensive efforts and his defensive awards. That will automatically get him in, even if if he didn't win the NBA championship. His defensive efforts will probably get him in there.
Here's another thing that might hurt him if he do go to the Hall of Fame. There's something that's going to hurt him. His behavior.
Yep, that will hurt him.
His behavior is going to hold him back when it comes down to it.
I agree. Yeah.
They consider all that stuff, so that's going to be pretty interesting when it comes down to him when his career starts to dwindle. Mm-hmm. And then it'll be time for him to retire. That's going to be very interesting on how that and when his eligibility will be.
Yep. Okay. Julian Edelman, real quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Julian Edelman got suspended for the first 4 games because of his PED use. And he's very confused about that, just like any player would be confused about it after they got caught with their hand in a cookie jar. Darren, your thoughts?
You summed it up right there, man. You summed it up right there. Because it's funny to me on how they now you have some that will actually sit down and admit that they've used it. It helped them heal their injuries quicker.
Who was it? Robert Mathis.
Yes.
He wasn't using it for injury purposes.
No, he was using it to help develop a child.
Yeah. Yeah.
And apparently it was illegal in the NFL.
Yeah. Yeah. He admitted to that. I don't think that to me affected his performance. I don't think so, because when he first got drafted to the Colts and he, played the way he played, I don't think he was even thinking about a child then. He played so well under Tony Dungy. Tony Dungy inspired a lot of his players to play well. Tony Dungy was a defensive coordinator. It's just that his defensive coordinator sucked. He sucked. He should have been a defensive coordinator. That man knew exactly how to draw up a defensive playbook.
Yes, he did.
How to draw up a defensive playbook. Ron
It's
Meeks.
just like making dough from scratch.
Yeah. And Tony Dungy was the mastermind of the Tampa 2 cover 2 defense.
Yep.
He's the mastermind of it. It's
The
just that he
mastermind.
had a defensive coordinator that just didn't know what he was doing. That's just me personally. Don't
Drawing up the wrong plays at the wrong time of the possession.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So Julian Edelman got fined for that, and I think he's an overachiever in my personal viewpoint.
I agree.
I think Julian Edelman was really that player anyway. I think that he has the potential to be a good wide receiver, but not as good as he makes himself look and the stats look and all this good stuff. It's.
Well, let me ask you this then. What about Wes Walker?
Wes Walker, I don't think he was enough.
That's interesting.
I think Wes Walker only had speed. I just don't think that Wes Walker, even if he did use some type of drug and enhancement of performances and stuff, I don't think he was even that good enough, even if he did take them. I just don't think he's that good.
Wes Walker
to me looked like a possession receiver. Julian Edelman looked.
Those important. Yeah.
He wanted to look like a running back with wide receiver skills. Julian Edelman,
anyway. I think with Julian Edelman, I think that, like you said, he's an overachiever, and when overachievers do have that ability to play, they do get caught with their hand in the cookie jar. Yep. It's just like you said it. And that was funny because impressive. Because of the fact that our players sometimes they would actually sit up here and Julian Edelman was like, I don't know what happened. Hey, you do. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, call me in the cookie jar.
Yeah, you got that.
What do you mean you don't know what happened?
Plain and simple.
What'd you do? Did you happen to drink out of the same cup with your wife? I mean, what are you possibly
What are you getting from this? What are you getting from this?
Where are you going?
Right. Yeah.
Where are you going, man? You got to man up to it now.
Yeah, you got to man up to
it. You got to man up to it. You done made your bed, now you got to lay in it. So I think he is supposed to be appealing that suspension.
Whatever.
I'm sorry, dude. That ain't helping you. You better hope that it gets you to at least where you could be able to participate in training camps and practices. You just better hope it gets you that. Because if you don't, you are screwed for the first 4 games.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing it out there.
I agree. All right. That's all we have for Double Take Sports Court. Yeah, that's it. Double Take Sports Court. Let's have the Quiz-mania question of the day once again for the answer.
Okay. So, I know you didn't really have much time to actually sit down and harbor on it. You probably don't even need that much time anyway.
Well, I'm going to give it my best shot, see what I got, just based off this quick one.
All right, so, okay. Before I start, I'm going to reread the question, then give the answer. Top 10 NFL quarterbacks to throw 15 touchdowns in the playoffs. And this is all time. So, Darren, you got it. Give it your best shot. Go for it.
Okay. I'm looking at this from the wrong viewpoint, and I know I am. I'll guarantee you I am.
Okay.
Because you didn't say anything about 15 plus, so I'm just going to throw these ones out here anyway.
I mean, it could be 15 plus, but it just has to be at least 15 touchdowns. Okay. It can't be below 15.
Okay, let's give this a shot then. I'm going to actually give you the top 10 of all time, period. And see how this works out.
Okay.
Number 10, I'm going to say Drew Brees.
Check.
Number 9, Ben Roethlisberger.
Check.
Number 8, Terry Bradshaw.
Check.
Number 7, Kurt Warner.
Check.
Number 6, Dan Marino.
Check.
Number 5, Mr. Rogers.
In the neighborhood. Check.
That's right. Number 4, the Sheriff, Peyton Manning.
The alarms are ringing. Check.
What did you just say?
The alarms are ringing.
Oh, right. Number 3, one of my all-time favorite quarterbacks that didn't know a defense apart but was able to get on the field to figure it out, Brett Favre.
Yes. The Mr. Interceptions.
Yes,
Check.
the lead man in interceptions.
Yes.
Number 2, the mastermind of the West Coast offense, Joe Montana.
Check.
And then number 1, the greatest cheater in the NFL in the sports world, Tom Brady.
Check. You got them all. You got them all. So, Tom Brady at 71.
Yep.
Apparently, that right there tells you that is a big-time problem because you dropped down to Montana, 45. Favre, 44. Manning, 40. Rodgers, 36. Marino, 32. Warner, 31. Bradshaw, 30. Roethlisberger, 30. And Drew Brees, 29. That poses a problem.
Big time.
That poses a problem.
Absolutely.
How the hell you get 71 touchdowns over everybody else that just ain't even got 50? What the hell is that?
I don't call that
great.
I don't call that great.
I don't either. I don't either.
Call it great if they really actually played football and studied it, but I just don't believe that happened because they couldn't get.
Well, not Tom Brady anyway.
They didn't get past Philadelphia after they ran that fake practice scheme. They didn't get past them then.
They got played in their own game. No, they didn't. Well, they got played. They just put it like that.
They got played in their own game to an extent. They did.
To an extent, yes. Not in the case of cheating, because that's what I was going to get into. That wasn't even the case. No. They got played in their own game.
They got played in their own game because they ran a fake practice and everything.
Yes, they did.
You can't trust them.
You can't trust them.
And to me, that almost proved it.
Yeah.
Because I think Seattle ran a actual practice, and I think that hurted them.
And that
second time around, even the first time around, it hurted them. But let me take that back. That was Seattle and Denver. Sorry.
Yeah, that was Seattle and Denver.
Seattle, played against New England. I believe they ran their real practice. And
they ran their real practices, and they hurt. Yep, they hurt them.
And
that's why the game stayed so close.
But I got to tell you, I don't know what the Giants did. But they managed twice against
Smash. No, let me tell you something. They ran their real place. Smash mouth. Period. They wasn't playing with them. Smash mouth.
Yeah, Tom Coughlin just.
Yeah, that's smash mouth.
Yeah, he knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
He knew what he was doing.
He sure did.
That kind of hurt it. Those ones that they lost, I don't know what they did, but they did something to throw New England off.
You know what? Because I'm going to tell you something. Had I not looked up, well, I will look it up. I'm going to look up top 10 quarterbacks to throw interceptions in the playoffs all time. And I want to see what Tom Brady ranks at that. That's what I want to see. Because this right here, 71 touchdowns, that's a big gap between him and Montana, and 45. That is almost a 30-touchdown difference.
There you go. Tom Brady ranks not even the top 10.
I bet.
Tom Brady ranks he is top for 53rd.
With how many?
160. Who you think is number one? Who you think is number one?
Lorenzo.
336.
Of course.
Who else rounds out that top 10? There's one other quarterback that rounds out that top 10 that we always talk about in his rookie year.
Manning.
250.
Sure.
Yep, 251.
Yep. 53rd.
53rd. He's actually, technically, when you look at it, he's actually 54th.
He's tied.
He's tied with Ken Anderson. He's in a three-way tie with Ken Anderson and Jay Cutler.
Another rotten dude.
Jay Cutler?
Yes.
Well, Phil Simms and Matt Hasselbeck. It's 58 and 59. I'm sorry, 57 and 58.
Okay. That's okay. That's okay. So, yeah. That is that, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep. That
is our Quiz-mania question of the day.
That's right.
For June 9th, 2018. Throw the paper. All righty. Time for final thoughts. Darren, you got anything for final thoughts for us?
You know this, I sure don't.
Perfect. So, I do have something here, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to give, of course, Darren mentioned it at the beginning of the podcast, just giving a couple of shout-outs to a couple of users on our Instagram page that has happened to give us great deeds and good compliments, either about the podcast itself or our page itself. So, with that being said, the first person I want to give a shout out to is the username Inspire Paul. Wrote at Double Take Sports Talk. You're the greatest. Appreciate your comment. Very well inspired. Then another user, NE Basketball, replied at Double Take Sports Talk. Great job with this page. Fantastic emoji. Appreciate your comments. And then last but not least, AK the Realist. He wrote one important word, and that is lit. Appreciate your comment. All three of you guys appreciate your comments. You don't know what that do to us. So yeah, keep flowing with them. Keep flowing with the comments. You don't have to be on our Instagram page. It could be anywhere else. YouTube, doesn't matter. So I just wanted to give a quick shout out to them brothers for actually taking the time out to actually give us a compliment on our good work.
Sure.
But that's all I have. If there's nothing else, we could go ahead and wrap this baby on up and get on out of here.
Let's do it.
All righty, ladies and gentlemen, that is another edition of Double Take Sports Talk, the final edition of our NBA podcast. If you like what you see, just give this video a thumbs up. How you feel about today's show, just comment in the comment section as usual. Of course, we are on the social media sites. Oh, God. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Yeah, I know. I'm like worn out.
It's that old age.
Yeah. It's not so much of old age, but
right.
It's just called getting up early. So I'm not going to really what I really want to say. I'm just going to wait till we get off the podcast so I can say it.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, we're on the social media sites of Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can hit us up there. Anything in particular, doesn't matter which. Doesn't matter. You can ask us anything you like. Comment like you did before. If we like it, we'll share them on the air or during our next recordings. Of course, YouTube, subscribe them. Hit that subscribe button. But until then, I'm Darrell. Fat boy on the opposite side.
Yep.
Another episode Double Take Sports Talk. Until then, ciao. Double Take Sports Talk here with me, Darrell Watts. Now, there's an understatement that always goes that has always been true from day one when sports decided to come out, is that it can be very unpredictable. And, of course, that's always been the statement that's always been so true.
And depending on how you look at it, it can be very unpredictable. But with Double Take Sports Talk, we just throw some entertainment in there. Even if we don't get predictions right or theories don't come out right, we always just throw a little entertainment into the mix. So why not just have a little fun with it? That's how predicting can be so fun if you make an entertainment out of it. But other than that, of course, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. But anyway, we're on social media around the globe here. We're on social media on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can hit us up on our fan page at the Watch Brothers. You can hit us up on Twitter at DTST2414. And of course, you can hit us up on Instagram, Double Take Sports Talk. So, YouTube, subscribe. You can share. You can do all the good stuff. Do anything that you like. We're just trying to grow a podcast here, folks. We're also on the iTunes. You can download our episodes there. We're on the video, of course, and we're on the audio portion too. So either way that you can enjoy this podcast, you can do it audio, we do it on video. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the podcast. And until then, ciao.